The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. Listen, BlurCon is this weekend. My hair still needs to be done. I need to get another video uploaded before I leave. So y'all gonna deep condition this hair with me. Got it? Okay, let's continue.
Come on, boys, get loud. 'Cause when the music starts bumping, the whole place will be jumping. It's my scene, you know what I'm.
Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and welcome back to the pirate ship, also known as Harry Hook's pirate ship. I am the captain. You are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you want to know why. Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. No one's worthy of being the first mate. But hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. Today's video is going to be one that is pretty easy for me to make. It's more of a chit chat video. You know how a lot of my old videos were where I just get on here and just blab my mouth. We are going to be talking about the subject of women in animation. And why did I pick this topic? One, because this weekend I will be at BlurCon. Just go ahead and put that out there. So if any of you guys who are going or watching, feel free to say hi. I'm posting like 2 panels, so yeah, they're on the schedule. And 2, that's just pretty easy for me to get out by the way. And 2, if you guys have not been seeing this hashtag going around called RIP Cartoon Network, it's concerning. I'm gonna insert a clip in here of that and I will continue on with the video.
Wow, so this is where cartoons get made. Not anymore. Cartoon Network is essentially dead. And other big animation studios are not far behind. What the hell? What happened to all the animation workers? A lot of them are unemployed, in record numbers in fact, and many have been unemployed for upwards of a year. But they carried the industry during a pandemic.
So long story short, animation, Western animation specifically, anime is a whole nother topic for another time, but Western animation has been in shambles for like ever, but it's been more so worse since the pandemic has hit. Animation is literally what carried 2020 on the backbone, but now it looks as if this is becoming a disappearing industry, especially with the rise of AI and people constantly wanting to pay artists less and less for their work. And it's not even just artists, because people gotta realize that drawings is not the only thing that goes into making animation. And we also have this stigma where so many people believe that animation isn't for everyone. It's not for adults, it's just for kids, and that is absolutely not true, which is why I decided to pick this topic today. If you guys are familiar with me and my work, you know that I am a big advocate for women's stories in animation and just women working in animation and comics in general, because this is often a space where we were seen as idolized and pushed to the side and not really seen as like an important factor. What exactly do I mean by that? Most of the time when a woman is working in animation, she either is a voice actor, she's not really in the writer's room, she's not really in the behind the scenes more so. Anytime you will see a woman in animation, she usually is voice acting or she's just a character on the screen. It has been getting better over the years how more women have been popping up within this industry, but we still have a long way to go. I have talked to numerous women and non-binary femmes within the animation community, and they are all very, very kind and very understanding, but we all can mutually agree that women and non-binary femme stories matter in this medium specifically. So today's video, I want it to be more so of a positive one because it's just been very sad right now for the animation community. overall. And I want to sit here and highlight some women's stories in Western animation that I think were very well done. I wanted to sit and pick some things that people wouldn't think that I would go for. I talk about the Princess of Frog all the time on this channel. Also taking into account that she wasn't even human for most of the movie. She was a damn frog. I want to sit here and highlight other projects that I don't necessarily talk that much about, or I think this one aspect shit, get your words together. I think this one aspect of it was done pretty well. So I have like a good list of things. Hopefully you guys are familiar with a lot of these things that you're watching. I'm pretty sure if you're watching my channel, you're an animation fan half the time. But you might find some new things to watch and give a chance for, but you might also change your perspective on the way that you watch some of these things. And another reason why I wanted to make this video is because I remembered that Fiona and Cake had recently came out, and Fiona and Cake is an animated series about a 30-year-old woman. And I was just like thinking at the way that animation has been going, that is progressive. That's actually progressive. Even if she is white, we get it somewhere. Things are changing. And oftentimes I get on here and talk about projects that I enjoy, even though I think they need a lot of work. And my problems with them usually have to do with the fact that I don't think the women's stories are told well for the most part. Like, as much as I love Natalie, she's very poorly written. As much as I love Urahime, she's poorly written. I love Penny, she's poorly written. I love Yuki, she's poorly written. And Anarcha, she's poorly written. Along with Shego, love her too. Very poorly written. Also keep in mind that when I'm saying women's stories, I am specifically talking about characters that are 18 plus. Got that? Yeah, because usually when I get on here and I talk about women's stories, I see a lot of people comment girl characters, and I'm like, I appreciate this, I understand where you're coming from, but I specifically want to talk about adult stories within animation. So let's go ahead and continue. And I know someone in the comment section might bring up Nana. Wow, Japan is a bit more progressive in the sense of telling women's stories within a drawing lens. And when I say that, I mean mangas and an anime drawing. You get what I'm saying? By the way, if you use the word comic referring to a manga, you're not technically wrong. All of this shit is graphic novels at the end of the day. It's all animation too at the end of the day when you're talking about anime just as well. Even though I think there is work that needs to be done with women's stories over there, I specifically want to highlight here in Western animation because it is significantly worse. So the first project that I want to talk about where I think a woman's story was done pretty well would have to be Disney's Hercules. I have been talking about Hercules quite a lot on my channel lately and just in general, and that mainly has to do with the character named Megra. Megra is a woman, I'll tell you. Part of the reason I've been talking about her so much is because, if you guys are familiar with me, I've been really obsessed with the Disney Jujutsu Kaisen crossover, and the video that me and Veritas Joe made for that shit is still going to come out. It's just we gotta re-record a section of it because it got deleted. But anyway, that entire crossover shipping thing had me so interested in Megra's character all over again. It's because she was shipped with a character named Toji. And while sitting there and thinking about it, like actually trying to understand this ship that this person created, I realized that it worked because of the way Megra's character was. When you look at 90s Disney, Megra's character is significantly different than a lot of the other female characters that were written here, but especially the women. Because when we look at the women in Hercules, they're more so seen as like props or very much pushed off to the side. Because we have the muses, as much as I love them, their only purpose in the story was really just to tell the story and to help progress the plot that way. They're beautiful, they're gorgeous, they sing so amazing, but they don't technically have much of a story, if that makes sense. They're fun characters. I love the muses for Hercules. I am not trashing them. But when I sit here and I'm talking about a story about a woman and it refers to Hercules, I'm not thinking about them. I'm thinking more so about Megra. Because we can't even really sit here and say that shit about Hera, because Hera bitch ass was barely in this movie. I am a Hera hater, by the way. If you're a Greek mythology fan, you know. know, you know. I have an entire video talking about my love for Megara. That's why I don't necessarily want to spend too much time speaking about her. I will have that link down below. But Megara is a prime example of disrespectability politics. And if you guys don't know what disrespectability politics is, it's the complete opposite of respectability politics. Megara is done up to look like a Disney princess. And when you look at her on the surface, you think that she'd be a woman that's super duper quiet and meek and polite and oh my god, prissy, this and that and the third. Like, you think that's how she would be, but when you actually see her open up her mouth, you're like, oh fuck, this girl is actually blunt as hell. She's so cool, she's so funny, she's so interesting. Her voice actor even mentioned how part of the reason she liked Megara's character so much is how funny she was. When it comes to the Hercules film, Megara's story is one of the things that people highlight the most when it comes to it. Megara was so popular, she ended up getting her own book that I talk about in that damn video. But yeah, let's move forward. Next woman's story, property that I want to talk about where I think a woman's story was done very well would have to be The Simpsons. Now, when I mention TV shows in this video, I'm more so talking about specific episodes or certain dynamics that these characters are having with other people. Now, the one episode in particular that I am wanting to highlight has to be the episode called Large Marge. I'm pretty sure it's called Large Marge. I hope I'm correct. Marge Simpson is a character that I've always just very much liked, even though she kind of frustrates me a little bit because I'm like, how are you this bad bitch and you married to Homer? Like, I'm confused. I just don't get it. I mean, I get why she with him because he's like badly in love with her. But I'm like, I don't know how she can do it. What's that mean? Be nice. Be nice. I'm finding it. I'm finding it. And no, I did find it. That man loves her. But the one episode I really like, Large Marge, really has a lot to do with the fact that Marge is feeling a bit self-conscious about her body. And she goes to get liposuction. This episode is like, it's so campy because it sounds like something that wouldn't work. I'm gonna get into it. It sounds like something that wouldn't work at all, but then when you actually sit there and watch it and see how they handle it, it's pretty well done. She looks to get liposuction because Marge is a middle-aged woman. She has had 3 children. Her body has gone through the ringer, I'd say, and she is feeling a bit insecure about her body. This is a very good episode when it comes to the subject of body image, and I think it was handled a bit well. But there is a mistake that happens because her record, I'm trying to remember it, her record ends up getting switched with a younger patient who is trying to get breast implants, and instead of her getting liposuction, she ended up getting breast implants. Mind you, this is animation. I'm like, girl, did you not? Anyways, she gets the implants and she notices the type of attention that she begins to get with them, and she also kind of struggles with them too just as well. Her getting her body done really did shift the way she saw herself, and it also shifted the way that many other people saw her. But also she kind of realizes that she doesn't like to get this type of attention in the long run. I do recommend it. There are a few more episodes of The Simpsons that I do recommend that I think it handled Marge's character well when it comes to the subject of womanhood. But yeah, I just want to talk about that one instance right there. Moving on to the next one. The next one would have to be Kim Possible. Now, this is more so of me talking about the subject of flawed women. I think women are allowed to be the villains in stories if done very well, along with the fact that they're not the only character here, like female character, that is villainized. Kim Possible has to be a series that I think has a very well written villain character, and that is Shego. Now, what part of Kim Possible am I recommending? I'm not recommending the show, I'm recommending the film So the Drama. I talked about Kim Possible So the Drama in the past on my channel, talking more so about the brutalizing relationship that she was in with another guy, but there is another aspect of that movie I want to talk about that has to do with Shego, because that entire scheme where she was basically dating this guy that turned out to be a robot, the robot was being controlled by fucking Draken, and Shego, you know, Shego was basically the mastermind behind all of pretty much everything that that man does. Shego is just unapologetically terrible. She's just as bad as Draken too, just as well. But as we watch Kim Possible, we see that they both kind of have like this bit of codependency on each other. It's an interesting dynamic, I tell you. I'm telling you, my favorite part of watching Kim Possible as an adult is Shego and Draken. It is. They're my favorite part of the series. And Shego was a girl failure. We're constantly seeing her lose over and over and over again. But it's done in such a hilarious way. You keep coming back to the series to see her lose more and more and more and more. And up until this point, I'd say the So the Drama film, we don't necessarily know much about Shego and why she acts the way she does. We don't technically understand her behaviors. We see that more so in season 4. I hope that season 4, listen, the timeline is a little wonky right now, but we do end up getting some background on Shego's character, learning about her family and how she was involved with the accident. That's why she's green, and how she doesn't like to be told what to do because she had to deal with that growing up and shit like that. We do get to learn a little bit more about her, but for the most part, we just see how unhinged she is. Like, she is such a smart woman, and she uses her intelligence for bad. We see that she knows how to fight. She knows how to throw hands, but she can't throw hands enough because she always get her ass whooped by Kim. And she get her ass whooped really, really bad at the end of this movie. She gets what she deserves in the end. She's just an overall horrible woman, and it's very interesting to see. I think she's one of the more so better written villains that comes from like Disney TV animation. But Kim Possible So the Drama, if you guys are interested in like a female character that is just bad and they're just a fucking horrible, terrible person, because I think female characters are allowed to be bad people too just as well, but you gotta have those nuances, and that, oh, y'all know all the stuff that go into that. The next woman that I have to recommend, like woman story I have to recommend, would have to be Moon Girl, and this is more so for the grandmother Mimi. I've talked about Mimi in the past on my channel too just as well, but Mimi is the grandmother of the main character, Lunella Lafayette, and we find out that she is a woman in STEM, Black woman in STEM specifically. She's super duper smart, very intelligent, very bright, but she's also very loving and very caring. But we do learn more about her. We learn about the mistakes that she has made. I appreciate how the series allows her to make mistakes, but one thing I really love about Mimi is because we rarely ever get stories about older Black women. We never get to see these stories pretty much ever. They're often thrown to the side, and Mimi is technically a side character, but when I say they are thrown to the side, they are not really dealt with. She actually plays an important factor into this series because, like I said, she's actually super duper smart. She's very understanding of her granddaughter Lunella, who's also a really, really smart girl too. And she's very supportive of a lot of her shenanigans. Like, she still disciplines her, but she's also very supportive of a lot of things that she does because she understands what it's like to be really smart and not having people around you that kind of understand you and whatnot. But we get to see like her highs and her lows. We see that she has made mistakes and that she has learned from them and all of that. When I think of a very well written older woman character, I think of Mimi. We rarely ever see Black characters like her. we do, they're often thrown to the side, because usually when we see a black grandma, she just be to the side. I appreciate the rap, I appreciate that she there, but they barely do shit with black grandmas in our media. We actually see them do something with her, and I like how just because she's older, it doesn't necessarily limit her to like having fun, because she was willing to take Lunella and Casey to the damn fair. Okay, she's a fun grandma. I love her. I adore her. If you're looking for something to watch about an older black woman, animated specifically, I highly recommend Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Okay, the next woman story that I have to recommend would have to be Rugrats in Paris, but I gotta be specific about which woman. I made a video talking about Coco about like a few weeks ago, but I specifically just want to talk about Kira. Kira is like one of my favorite like parents in the Rugrats series overall. I feel like Kira gets a lot of shit, more so because a lot of people didn't really care too much for her daughter, but Kira is just like the cutest thing ever. She's a good mother. She's also a bit nerdy too, just as well. She's very loving and caring. She's just such like a sweet woman, and I just adore her. I adore her so much. She was like the assistant of Coco in that movie, and while Coco was just going off and doing whatever, Kira was still trying her best to be a good person. I think she was doing an amazing job, okay? I think Kira would make a really good teacher. I think she would have made her a really good teacher, because we do see like later on the Rugrats timeline, her and her husband later on, because she ends up marrying Chaz in the end. They end up opening up like a cafe together and all of that, but she's just such like a lovely woman. Such a lovely woman. If you just want a character, an adult character that's just like so wholesome, I recommend Kira. Rugrats in Paris specifically for. Speaking of Rugrats, we're still not touching on that. The next topic I'm going to bring up is All Grown Up. And this specifically has to do with, I told myself that I can only pick one character from a lot of these series. So this one was a little bit difficult, but I had to pick my favorite parent in Rugrats, and that had to be Betty. Betty is this very like eccentric woman. I love how her personality didn't technically change after she had kids. You could tell that she pretty much was always like that. But All Grown Up is very interesting to see, because we see that she is low-key struggling raising twins. Now, why is she struggling with raising twins? Oh, feeling little are acting different. And when I say they're acting different, if you watch the original Rugrats series, you know that Phil and Lil basically were like clones of each other. They looked alike, they talked alike, they dressed alike. Everything about them was pretty much the same. They had the same personalities too, the same interests too, just as well. But when All Grown Up, we get to see that there are changes that are coming along the way. While Phil still seems to be a bit similar to how he was when he was younger in Rugrats, Lil is changing. She's actually becoming a lot more girly. She's finding more friends outside of her brother, yada yada yada. She's more so finding more female friends outside of like Kimmy and Angelica and Susie, and she basically grew up with them. That's why she technically was around them so much. But she's finding more so other friends at her school, and she's also finding other interests and things that she likes, especially when it comes to like extracurricular activities. She finds out that she really likes soccer, and that has Phil just kind of like losing his shit, and Betty is just over here like, why are my kids fighting? What is going on with these two? It's so interesting to see how she is just low-key kind of struggling with raising twins. It's so funny, but it's so well done. So I highly do recommend watching All Grown Up if you want to see Betty's character. The next property on here recommending women in animation would have to be Batman Hush. Now, I talked about Catwoman before on my channel. I will have the link to that video down below. A lot of these properties that I'm talking about in this video, I've talked about in the past in other videos on my channel. The main reason I decided to pick Batman Hush when it comes to Selena's character. By the way, you don't know who Selena is. She is Catwoman. I was gonna pick Talia al Ghul, but I have so many frustrations with the way Talia has been written. Comment down below your opinion about why the way Talia was written, because I have some words. But anyway, when it comes to Batman Hush, this movie specifically, mind you, I read the comic too, so I see like the differences and the similarities there. But Batman Hush mainly more so focuses on like the growing relationship between Catwoman and Batman. Batman, Bruce is Selena. And we actually get to see more so of her frustrations with him and the way he is. Because I've said this before on my channel and I'll say it again. Bruce Wayne need to go to therapy. Somebody else even said this shit before in my comment section because I was talking about how I like to ship Bruce Wayne with Natalie, as in Natalie from Miraculous Ladybug. I shipped those two together. They actually work. And somebody has said something about how Natalie would be quick to tell Bruce that he don't need to go to therapy. He sure does. But this movie honestly just solidifies my entire thing about how Bruce just has a lot of work to do on himself. And we get to see how that affects Selena. I have a lot of concerns about the way Selena is written at times too, just as well. But I more so was watching Batman Hush for her instead of Bruce. It's like Selena Kyle went from being like this sex symbol to feeling more so as an actual person. Because that's one thing I did like about the film Batman Hush, by the way. Because when I read the comic, it just kind of felt like, oh, okay, she's just Bruce Wayne's side piece. But here she felt like a little bit more human. So yeah, Batman Hush. And while we're still on the subject of DC, I do recommend My Marriage with Superman. Lois Lane is just like such a fun character. She's so cute to me. Like, I just love her. One day when I was going through it, I was thinking about cutting my hair as short as hers. I think I could pull it off. That's part of the reason why I had bought that Toji's wife wig and I did that cosplay with it. But Lois Lane, she's just such a fun character. She can be doing the most at times, but she's just so fun. I just like her. And mind you, I've never really been the biggest like fan of Lois Lane in general. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of the story of Superman in general. Like, oh, Clark Kent, I think he's so boring. It was Sarcastic Chorus that had said this to me. I said something about how I just don't understand the hype around Disney's Hercules character, and he said something about how he's just low-key Disney Clark Kent, and I was like, yeah, I never cared about Clark Kent up until My Adventures with Superman. So Lois Lane, fun character. Amanda Waller is a character I have so many frustrations with, but I think her writing here is a bit better. So yeah. The next woman's story that I have to recommend is actually a TV show, and I kind of recommend the overall show for it because it's like when you watch one, you're gonna want to see more of her. And it's not The Emperor's New Groove, it's actually The Emperor's New School. The Emperor's New Groove is more so about one scheme that Yzma has. Yzma, played by the adorable, why do I call her adorable? Eartha Kitt is a hot ass woman, I don't care, okay? Played by the amazing, the great Eartha Kitt. Yzma, she's perfectly cast. When I think of characters that are perfectly cast, Yzma. I can't see nobody else doing Yzma except for Eartha Kitt. But in The Emperor's New Groove, we really only get to see one scheme that Yzma has. And in The Emperor's New School, we get to see multiple schemes that she has. Like mess after mess after mess after mess after mess. It's just so funny to watch her. She's a very chaotic, loud, in-your-face type character. She's just so fun to me. Like I said, if we're gonna recommend women that are good in this video and then women that are a bit neutral, we also gonna recommend the bad ones. I recommend the Shego. I recommend Yzma too. Why do I call her Yzma? It's Yzma. The next series that I want to recommend has to be As Told by Ginger. My friend Kiwi had me in his video where he had me review an episode of As Told by Ginger, and it was the Thanksgiving special. But if you're interested in a story about a woman working through a divorce while also trying to find new men to date and finding new love after divorce, but also raising 2 kids, highly recommend As Told by Ginger if you're interested in something like that. One thing I've noticed if you're watching this, a lot of these properties I am recommending are more so like properties that are family friendly and are for people of all ages. I feel as though like the women's stories, and not just the women's stories, but the adult stories here matter too just as well, because we have to remember that an adult wrote that. Someone that has experienced adulthood decided to put that story in there, and that's why I can connect a little bit more with them. But even though, like I said, I don't have kids, I'm not a divorced like divorcee. I don't get it, but I do understand just like a woman just going through it and just trying to build herself back together. So that's why I recommend As Toy Ginger. Oh, okay, this is a favorite. The next one I recommend would have to be Big Hero 6 the series, and this more so has to do with Honey Lemon's character and Go-Go's character. This is one of the few animated series out here that is about college students. Mind you, it is about college students of color because most of the people in the Big Hero 6 group are POC. Honey Lemon is Latina. I made an entire video talking about the situation with her. I'll put the link to that down below. Like I said, a lot of these videos that I'm making have throwaways to them. Links to that down below. But we're dealing with a Latina character who is named Honey Lemon. I used to be so obsessed with her when I was like 17. I wanted to be her so bad. And then we also have another woman of color who's a Korean woman named Go-Go. Now, Go-Go and Honey Lemon are like the complete opposite of one another. You guys ever seen Hi Hi Puffy Ami Yumi? We know how Ami is the happy and cheering one, and Yumi is the more cool and laid back one, and Ami's a little bit more optimistic and Yumi's a bit more pessimistic. That literally is the dynamic with Go-Go and Honey Lemon. We have this one woman who is super duper smiley and in your face. She loves stickers. That is one thing about her that I just adored, and I was like, she is so me, because I love stickers too just as well. And Go-Go is the complete opposite of Honey Lemon. Everything about Honey that she considers to be cool, it is not going by over there with Go-Go. But the more the series goes on, we get to see them bond more with one another. We get to see them get to know each other. But the one particular arc in specific that I really liked with Go-Go and Honey Lemon had to be when they were roommates, and we get to see them clash a bit because she's just like, oh my gosh, why is she like this? Why is she super duper happy and whatnot? But this is just a very cute opposites attracts type friendship story going on here, and I will always sit here and recommend people watch Big Hero 6 the series, not more so for the superhero shit, but more so for the human shit. And I rarely get to see friendships about women of color in animation. That's why I was like, I'm getting what I can. I'm taking what I can get. Recommend Big Hero 6 the series for Honey Lemon and Go-Go. I tried to be like, you know how I was trying to pick one character in particular, but Honey Lemon and Go-Go are just very fun characters when they are together, especially when they are fighting in battles and whatnot, and like taking care of sciencey shit, because they're both super smart too, by the way. Women in STEM. Women of color in STEM specifically. And because I don't want this video to be too long, I'm just gonna go ahead and end it right there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that I was able to give you guys some new recommendations, but also I was hoping to give you guys like some different perspectives on numerous properties that I have named, because I think women's stories matter, and we're not gonna get more women's stories in animation, and we're not gonna get more women working behind the scenes of these stories in animation if we don't talk about them, if we don't spread the word and all that. That's part of the reason why RIP Cartoon Network was trending, is because nothing is going to change unless we actually do something about it and speak up and whatnot. Anytime you look at history, things did not start to change until people actually started speaking up and spreading the word about everything that is going on. Like, you look at civil rights and you look at LGBTQ rights, you even look at what's going on now. Things are changing because more and more people are speaking up. And as somebody that is a big advocate of women being more included within the animation sphere, I'm gonna do my part and speak up about it, but also trying to find some positivity here, highlighting that, yeah, women's stories matter. Like the shit Reese Witherspoon said. But I also want it to be more so like, yeah, it does work. We can do more with this. And seeing that Fiona and Kate is supposed to be like getting like a season 2. I still haven't watched it yet, but I watched like the pilot, the first 2 episodes, and it was pretty well done in my opinion. I was like, there is a big possibility that we will get more series in the future that are about women. Also, it was it's supposed to be a new show that's supposed to be coming on Adult Swim that is about Black women, and I am very much looking forward to that too, just as well. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say for this video. Like I said, I'll be at BlurredCon. If you see me, hi, I'm nice. I don't buy it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day, night, whatever time of the day you chose to watch this video. I'm just thankful that you watched it with the ads on. Alright, thank you. Goodbye.